Hi, I'm Jennifer of Celtic Knot Crochet, and this is video 3 in our Celtic Knot Bag Crochet-a-long. Last week we wove our cords into the Celtic Knot square, and this week we're going to make 3 hexagons using mostly double crochet stitches. The hexagons make up most of our bag, and we join them together by folding them in half and then joining along each of the squares. In this video, I'll be reviewing all the supplies you need for this step, and we'll also be making the strap. So if you like this project, make sure to give us a thumbs up and don't forget to click to subscribe. Let's get started. So what you'll need is your cotton yarn and a 3.75 millimeter or F crochet hook, and you'll want 6 stitch markers. If you don't have stitch markers like this, you can use safety pins or a piece of yarn, or even twist ties or paper clips would work. You just need to mark some stitches each round so you can keep track of where you are and be successful in making this hexagon shape. For this hexagon, you will be making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds total, and it will result in a 9-inch across hexagon, and you're going to want to make 3 of these to complete the bag. To begin this project, you're going to want to do an adjustable ring. I'll show you how to do it right here, but if you'd like a slower step-by-step tutorial of how to do an adjustable ring, you can click right up here. So you take your yarn, and the end of the yarn you wrap around your non-dominant hand and then cross over and pinch together. So we have this end here, and then I go through the loop I just made, yarn over and pull through that loop, and then I get my hands ready to crochet, and I tighten up that loop on my hook, and I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to work 12 double crochets into this ring. Double crochet is yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's see here, we can zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to do that 11 more times for a total of 12 double crochets. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, so there are my 12 double crochets plus that starting chain 3. And I'm going to take the yarn tail here that I had there at the beginning, and I'm going to pull that tight, and that eliminates that center hole. Here we are ready to start round 2. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to put 2 double crochets in that very first stitch where my slip stitch went into and where this chain 2 is coming out of. So double and another double in that same stitch. Now the next stitch is where I'm going to start working one of the points of my hexagon. So I'm going to put 3 stitches in here. A double crochet and then a treble. A treble you yarn over twice. I'm going to put my hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, through 2, and then I'm going to do a double in that same stitch again. So I have 3 stitches in that next stitch. I have a double, treble, double, and the treble is nice and tall, and that's going to create our corner or our point, one of our points of the hexagon, and I'm going to mark it with a stitch marker, and I'm going to repeat this pattern around the circle. So I'm going to do 2 doubles, then double, treble, double, 2 doubles, double, treble, double, And every treble crochet I'm going to mark with a stitch marker so I can find it my next round. So I'll show you again. 2 double crochets, and now my point. Double, treble, and double. 3 stitches in one, and grab one of my stitch markers and put it in there to mark the treble. So I will have 6 trebles throughout my round 2, and that will create my 6 points that I need for my hexagon that has 6 sides. So here we go. I did 2 double, and now I've got double, treble is 2 yarn overs, and double again. And mark that treble with a stitch marker. So I'll continue that until I get back to where I began. Okay, now I want to show you something. I'm almost completed with round 2. I've got 5 stitch markers, so I have my five corners so far. I need to do 1 more. And if you look carefully here at the end of the round, you'll see that I have 1 more stitch, and then it looks like I have another stitch right here. But this is actually created from the slip stitch from the round before. So on all of your rounds, you'll have this loop right here that looks like you have 1 more stitch, but you don't. We're just going to skip that and not bother working into it. If we work into it, it'll make our numbers be off and our hexagon will be kind of wonky. So I just want to work into this last stitch and skip that one. So I'm going to do my last point or corner, double, treble, double. Okay, so my last point here, I'm marking the treble, and then here is that starting chain 2 that I'm going to skip, and I'm going to work right into the first double crochet of my round and do a slip stitch, yarn over, and pull through everything. So there is round 2 completed. You should have 6 stitch markers marking 6 treble crochets. Alright, so now we're ready to do round 3 of our hexagon, and we've set it up where we just repeat the same thing every round, and I'll show you what I mean. And these stitch markers really help you stay on top of things. So what you're going to do is you're going to start every round with a chain 2, and you're going to work a double crochet in that same stitch that your chain 2 is coming out of. So put a double crochet right in there, and remember that chain 2 we're going to skip over, and it's not even really going to show. Then we're going to work double crochets across each side until we get to the next stitch marker. So it doesn't even matter how many are there. I'm just going to work double crochets until I get to the stitch marker, and then the treble crochet that's marking my stitch marker is going to get another corner or another point, which is double crochet, treble crochet, and another double, all in that same stitch. And then before we move on, I'm going to mark the middle stitch, which was my treble, with the stitch marker, and then I can find it easily next round. Alright, so now I'm going to do double crochets across until I get to the next stitch marker. And I like using stitch markers in this way so you don't have to count, you don't get all worried about whether you have the right amount or not. Just put 1 double crochet in each stitch across, and now here I am at my next treble, So I'm ready to make my next corner or my next point. Double, treble, 2 yarn overs, and then double again, all in that same space, same stitch. And then I mark my treble. And I repeat that all the way around. So double crochet across to the stitch marker, and then work my point or my corner stitches into that stitch marked with the stitch marker. Double crochet, treble, double crochet. Double crochet, treble, and double crochet. And then don't forget, before you move on, mark the treble with your stitch marker. Alright, so that makes it really easy. No counting necessary if you mark each of those treble crochets. Here I am. I've gone all the way around and I just have one more corner to do for round 3. So I'm going to do my double, treble, and double. Mark my treble. And now if you look, remember from before, we have one more stitch here, and then we have this loop here that looks like a stitch, but it's really the slip stitch. So we're going to ignore that and just do a double crochet right here in that last stitch, and then join. Here's that chain 2. We don't want that. We're going to find that first double crochet of the round and put a slip stitch in the top of that. And there we go. That's round 3 completed. And we're going to continue that same process until we've completed 10 rounds. I'll show you how to start the next round one more time. So now we're ready to begin round 4, and we do the same thing we did with the previous round. It's just now our sides are getting bigger. So we're going to be working more double crochets in between our stitch markers. So I chain 2 to start, and then I'm going to put a double crochet in that same stitch that the chain 2 is coming out of. And now I'm going to work across up until the stitch marked with the stitch marker. And now I remove the stitch marker and I'm going to put my corner or my point stitches right in here. Double, treble, and double. And then mark my treble with the stitch marker. And now you can see here I've got a longer side, more double crochets till I get to the marked one. But that's all you got to do. With the stitch marker makes it really easy and quick, and you don't have to do any counting, which is what I like. So you can do this while watching a show, a movie, talking to a friend, because you have all your markers in place. Okay, so continue that until you have 10 completed rounds. And this is what your hexagon will look like, and you want to make 3 of these. So at each corner or each point you have those treble crochets. Okay, so if after your last round you want to check to make sure that all is working okay, if you were to count the stitches in between the trebles, you should have 20 stitches. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay? So if you count each of the trebles, then you have 22 from corner to corner. And you should have 22 along each of the sides of your hexagon. So that will make it easier for you to join all the pieces of the bag together. And we will be folding the hexagons in half this way, so we have 1, 2, 3 sides exposed like this. Here's what the strap looks like, and you can make yours any length you want. I made mine 28 inches, and I plan on sewing about 2 inches to the inside of the bag so it's nice and strong. You might notice something a little different with this is that I'm using a double strand of yarn. So the easiest way to do this is to just use the 2 yarn balls that you purchased. But if not, you just wind off some yarn of the strap color you would like and meet their ends up, and you just work with it like it's a single strand, except it's double. And we're going to be using the larger hook, the 5.5 millimeter or I hook. And what you're going to do, this is very easy, you're just going to chain the length that you want. So I wanted 28-inch strap, so I just did a chain length of 28 inches. So I'm just going to show you a little sample so you know what to do. Okay, so let's pretend this is how long I want my strap. And now I'm going to work half double crochets down one side of the chain. So before, when we worked, we turned the chain over when we were making our cords. So I like to work in the sides, one side of the chain, then we're going to go down, go around the edge, and come back on the other side of the chain. So as before, we're going to skip our first 2 stitches and do a half double crochet right into the side where you would normally go. So right into there. And it works up quick. And the double strand gives us a nice thickness. If you want, you can buy a leather strap or a woven linen strap, cotton strap online. There's all kinds of different things available if you don't want to crochet your strap. So when you get to the end, just work your half double crochets all the way across, like so. And then chain 1, do a slip stitch in the side of that last half double, and then chain 2, and now we can work across the other side. So what I just completed is down here. See, I turned it, and I'll just put my hook right into the other side of the chain that I haven't used yet. And this is a nice quick way to get a sturdy strap that I think looks pretty when you do it this way. Instead of doing just 2 rows of half double crochet, by working on either side of the chain, it gives it a different look. And that's all there is to it. And you can experiment if you want to hold up a measuring tape over your shoulder and see where the 28 inches would fall. Maybe you want yours a little shorter or longer. And that's it. That's all I did. So half double crochet, slip stitch across, half double crochet back, and then cut it off with a nice length to use for sewing it to our bag. So I hope this video helped you with the hexagon step of the project. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the description below. I'm happy to help. And remember, you can find more details written down about this project at CelticKnotCrochet.com. Stay tuned for next week's tutorial where we put all the pieces together to make our bag.